I'm going to comment on some of what mostly just Ian said about cloned animals. He mentioned that by cloning large herds of animals, it would actually help the animals because they're all going to be exactly the same. They're all going to be stronger. But according to the AAVS, which is the American Anti-Vivisection Society, by creating herds of cloned animals that have the same genetic composition, either entirely or with respect to some particular traits, the diversity of these animals is significantly reduced. And they also mentioned that, basically they mentioned that if all the animals are exactly the same, they're not going to have that variability that comes naturally through reproduction. So if one disease or something like mad cow disease comes into the herd, it's going to wipe them all out because some animals are not going to be naturally immune to it. That happens through natural reproduction. So it actually harms animals because it makes them all susceptible to the exact same thing. Ian also said that clones are not going to be used for food. They're mostly just for breeding. But I would like to mention one of the leading cloning biotechnology companies called Bio. A quote from their website says that currently there are no meat and milk products from cloned animals and their offspring in the marketplace. With FDA's safety conclusion now in place, cloned animals produced today are unlikely to enter the food supply for another 3 to 5 years. 3 to 5 years is not a very long time, which means they're going to be making their way in. And Bio also says that Bio will work with the USDA and the food value chain to ensure an orderly transition of these products, the cloned products, into the marketplace. So people are going to be eating cloned food. It's just a matter of time. Also, he mentioned that the host animal that's giving birth to cloned animals are not at all harmed by the process of cloning. But with large offspring syndrome, which he mentioned persists in a majority of clones, he mentioned himself, in a study conducted, 3 of 12 surrogate mothers died during pregnancy as part of the cattle cloning project. And it is, so obviously the mothers were hurt because the clones were too ginormous and they could not be born naturally. Also, I find it extremely scary that he says that we're going to feed people from other countries that may not necessarily agree with animal cloning. We're going to feed them the food because, gosh darn it, they need it. They're starving. And you don't have to tell them what they're eating. If they don't know, who cares? That's definitely not an ideology that the United States should be following, and I find it weird that they're proposing anything since it is not, they're on the negative side of a proposition debate. I want to kind of end with saying that, on kind of adding on to something that Ian said himself, he said that research for cloning is constantly improving, because science is improving. So cloning, the process of cloning will improve in the future. And I agree with that. But what I want to emphasize is that the FDA acted prematurely in giving cloned animals and their offspring the label of safe. Because we don't know yet. You can't conduct a study in 6 years and talk about long-term effects of cloned meat and their offspring. So the FDA was wrong, and animal cloning for the use of food should be made illegal.